Anyway, I was gonna put some beats on, but fuck it. Gotta turn the fizzing off. Fizzing, 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 fizzing. Smart, dumb people. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that the further you get away from, the further you are away from uh, say the whole system of or the structure of the education system, the more you notice that you're surrounded by smart dumb people. Excuse me. Yeah, you're surrounded by smart dumb people. You know, follow me, man. Follow me, man. What I'm saying is that it's a whole play going on, man. It's a whole play going on. I laugh because I've been thinking like this, like once again I do these lives to basically do a digital journal type shit, like if it helps one, it helps one. If it helps none, hey, I got it up out my system. It was it's a I was here type shit. You know what I mean? I was here. This is my testimony. But yeah, it's a whole play going on, man. It is a whole play going on. And when I seen this play, I don't know about you, if anybody can relate to this, can understand me about this topic, smart dumb people. When I seen this play, when I find, it dawned on me like kind of like the cartoons, the light bulb over your head. You're like, oh snap, oh shit. You know what I mean? It made me remove myself from around a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? It made me, you know what I mean, pull back. Even though I've always been a private individual, always been a, reserved, listen, you know what I'm saying, observe, you know what I'm saying, type of individual before I was even able to, embrace it. But there's a reason why the Most High made me this way, and I thank Him every day. You know, uh, but yeah, it's a whole play. It's a play going on. When you see this play of like, when I say smart dumb people, right? When I talk about this topic, what comes to my mind is ignorance. Ignorance. Uh, uh, spite, pride, deceit, denial. You know what I mean? Like these are the terms that fly around in my head when I hear about this play. When I call it a play, the reason why I call it a play is because it's a narrative. A narrative. You know what I mean? You got to look at it from the lens of this, therefore that. You know what I mean? What is it? Post hoc, ergo propter hoc. You know, I think that's how that go, right? That pig Latin shit. This, therefore that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at it from that type of perspective, that's why I call it a play. You see what I'm saying? That's why I call it a play. And when you see it as that, boom, you know, whether you was looking at this life shit as it ain't no game to you per se, and it ain't no game to, like, say, your loved ones that you know or what have you. They might not be looking at it like this either. But one thing for sure, in order to be in this society and be able to, you know, have some motion, be able to, you know what I mean, maneuver, you know, do your transactions, do your business, what have you, even just politic, you know what I'm saying, before you do your business, you know what I'm saying, just politic. You have to know you have to know to look at it from the lens of the motherfuckers that do play it as a game. You got to be able to, you know, look at it from that angle. Even if you don't, you know, your morals ain't you know what I mean, doesn't derive from, oh, I play this like a game, I live this shit like a game. When you got to understand, when you step outside into this world, you got to understand that you're gonna run across shit that don't see it how you see it. That don't see it how you see it. You know what I mean? They gonna tell you you know what I mean? They use terms even though we got different definitions. Like there's a lot of misnomers out here. You know what I mean? We got different definitions for shit. They'll be like, I get it how I live. And they'll get it how you get it how they live is different than you get it how you live. You know what I mean? Or get it out the mud, or you see what I mean? It's totally different. And you gotta understand something that you may not understand. We quick to call it dumb, or you know what I mean? Like uneducated or what have you. When that ain't the play. The play is the reason why I come to this conclusion, man. Follow me. The reason why I come to the conclusion of it, me saying smart, dumb people, like for example, you ever run into a person that is literally talking in circles. Like they're talking in circles with you. If you ain't seasoned and conditioned to knowing this play, it won't even reach the full circle. You know what I'm saying? It won't even reach the 3. You know what I'm saying? The dials we ain't even doing all that. You know, like boom, I'm seasoned and conditioned to it. I'm so seasoned and conditioned to this shit that I don't even give it opportunity to bust a move. You get what I'm saying? I don't even give it opportunity. So follow me. What I'm saying is they'll talk in circles, meaning the whole time they got a palette of motives they got a palette of motives and they got a palette of morals that they operate on, right? We all do. We all do. Are yours righteous or are they not? Like, it comes down to different things like that. But we all do, They'll have, a purpose for what is even coming out of their mind. I was always taught that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what that means is what's in your heart is gonna come out of your mouth. Like in the Bible, it also speaks of your heart being, equal to your mind. And that makes total sense. It makes total sense because it's like what's making you get up? You see what I'm saying? What's your purpose? What's your drive? And a lot of people's drive, not only is it when somebody speaks, is talking to you in circles, is it wasting your fucking time? Not only is it that time wasting tactic, it's also to recruit and disarm. Oh shit! Yeah, it's definitely to look. If you know me, anybody that know me know I use terms like rub your belly, pause, but fuck all that pause shit. We grown men, but at the same time, you get what I mean. Like, but this is how I look at it. I say, oh, they trying to rub my belly. You feel me? Like trying to rock me to sleep type shit. They trying to soothe. They a soothsayer. You know what I mean? You rocking with a soothsayer. you know. They might be cloaked in some other shit though. A person will walk up to you in a whole cloak. You know what I'm saying? They could be a whole sheep. They could be a whole anything. A police, a fucking a pastor. Like it could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be anything, and you like. And like I said, it takes conditioning, or if you was raised in an environment where you had like in the streets, for all people that talk about the streets or what have you, they can relate to this. Is that soon as you jump off that porch, soon as you in the in the field in the play, you know what I mean? You just learn how to. Basically the tricks of the trade, just like with your plumbers, your electricians, you know what I'm saying? You got your lingo, the etiquette. It's certain, you know what I mean? It's certain rules that go along with that arena. So it's like that with everything, like, you know what I'm saying? Like where you learn, traits like, I don't volunteer information, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it's just different. It's just different things that it can't be. A motherfucker cannot literally teach you this shit. Like you literally have to get your feet wet. You got to put on your boots and get up out of there. Get out there. And I want to say that what's crazy about that. That specific statement that I said, like, boom, you got to put on your boots and get out there. You ain't gonna. A lot of times, like I said, you can't even teach a motherfucker this. They have to go through it. So most times, when they learn this, when they run into this, running into a smart dumb person. They don't know that they getting got. They don't know that they getting ran. you know, however you say it, where you from, you know what I mean? A nigga playing you, getting finessed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, however, you know, they say it, jugging, you know, however y'all say it, wherever you from. Like, a lot of people don't, that ain't in a mental, you know, in a mental, or their playbook, or you know, like I said, morals and the motives, that ain't even on their palette. That, oh, I gotta watch out for the smart dumb people. Like I was always taught that a scared motherfucker will shoot you. A scared nigga will kill you off top for sure. For sure. Like, for all people that be, you know, saying, you know, this one's a bitch ass nigga, or this fuck boy or whatever. Yeah, that fuck boy knock your shit off. Like, these is facts. These is facts. Now align that up with what I'm talking about, smart dumb person. A smart dumb motherfucker. Yeah. You gotta understand survival. Survival derives off of fear. You know what I'm saying? Survival kicks in off of fear. Like, a fearful organism, mammal, whatever it is, will kick in. You get what I'm saying? That's how they'll develop certain survival tactics, survival methods, and you know what I'm saying? Just purely off of fear, man. Just purely off of fear. That's how that equation goes. You know, that at least that's from my experience. That's what I've seen, is that and that's why I chose to talk about this. You know, smart dumb people, because I look at it as a you know, very broad picture. You know, like, as far as like globe, as far as, you know, Earth. And I'm gonna have to look up, you know, the scripture that ties to this, where, you know, where I can find this in the Bible, or the Most High speaks about it. But yeah, anyway, you know, I'm gonna speak on that a little later. But you know what I'm saying is that uh, a lot of people do not see that, and like, that's not a part of their checklist. That's not a part of their tool belt. You know what I mean? The you know, prerequisites. That, you know what I'm saying? It's not a part of their requirements. You know what I mean? Like, it's not on their psyche, where you gotta watch out for smart dumb people. For my people that do know what I'm saying, like, yeah, like, you know exactly what I mean. Like, that's priceless shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, boom, what's the term? Gift of gab. That's a smart dumb person. To me, when you see, even they might even let you know, hey, I got the gift of gab. They might even let you know. It might come out in their whole spiel and campaign. You see what I'm saying? It might come out in it. And to me, that's a red flag. It lets me know that, you know, oh, I'm dealing with a finagler. I'm dealing with a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, you dealing with an entity. You dealing with an entity. You dealing with something that's well oiled. You know, I like to use terms like that. Well oiled. You know, it's a machine. It's a machine. And just like how I just said, a scared nigga will shoot you, it's not nothing to play with. It's not nothing to play with. Smart dumb people. It's not nothing to play with. For sure. I say this to say the example I'm gonna use right now is what they just had. No Kings. What is it? No Kings protest. To me, what that is. I mean, off top from just pure my pure foresight, hypothesis, shall I say, of what it would be about without me reading into it or seeing anything on social media or what have you. I would say it has no legs. Off top, that would be my, you know, pre-diagnosis of the shit. I would be like, it has no legs. Basically, it has no fucking purpose. You know what I'm saying? It has no. It ain't coming. It ain't coming with no kind of substance, no kind of fight. You know, there's really no plight. I can honestly tell you that. This is what made me come to the conclusion, of speaking on this topic. Smart, dumb people, follow me. Like I just said, there's no plight. You might be asking yourself, well, they out there, roaring and hooting and hollering for something. You know what I'm saying? They got signs and, all you hear is Trump this, Trump that. You know what I mean? Side note, I don't give a fuck about neither one of these parties or none of that shit. So, you can miss me with the, Trump supporter or whoever supporter. You're not going to figure me out. But anyway, boom, there's no plight. There's no fight. There's no legs. There's no purpose. There's no legs out there. That would be my pre-diagnosis, right? So the reason why I say that is, before I go on to the next part, the reason why I say that is because the society that we live in, a lot of things are, and I use this term all the time, a lot of processes, a lot of foundations, roots of things are very elementary. Very elementary. It's not complex as, they can come at you with these 3-syllable words and, these isms and, you know what I'm saying? Like it really don't be that. It becomes that. And this is, once again, this is proving my point of why I say how I look at the big picture. We are amongst smart, dumb shit. Smart, dumb people. Like, it's ran by smart, dumb people. So anyway, yeah, so what I'm saying is that it doesn't have no legs and it doesn't have no fight, no foundation. It's empty. It's empty. I would say it's empty, right? But at the same time, they're running on a whole different set of rules. You know what I'm saying? They're running on a whole different set of fucking rules. Like what you get up every day, based on what drives you to get up every day for you and your family. Just that right there is me saying for you and your family. That's different than say, yeah, that person might have a family, yeah, that person might have a job and all that. But is that their, you know what I mean? Is that their Miranda opera, you know what I'm saying? Is that their their motive? Is that their purpose? Are they even happy? And that don't be the case, man. That don't be the case. That don't be the case. But like I was saying, I had to get it back. Excuse me. Like I was saying, boom. That would be my pre-diagnosis of they don't have a fight, they don't have a plight, they don't have a foundation. You know, it's really no meaning. It's empty. You know, nothing. A bunch of nothing. And but to be exact, a lot of this shit is ran off of, you know, it's just this elementary. It's just this very, very, very small. You know, it's big, but you get what I'm saying? It's not your these and thous and you know what I mean? All that shit. It be based off of like imagery, you know, theatrics, optics. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not. It don't even be. It becomes, like I said, it becomes what it is after the allowance. I would say, you know, the first penetration, the first, you know, crack of the door. You know what you let in, what you allow, and that's why I say, boom. I go back to what I said previously. I don't even entertain none of this shit, man. I don't even let it. I don't give it an opportunity, and this just comes how I'm groomed came from just purely being outside. You know, maybe your outside is different than my outside, but my outside definitely taught me to look at it from these goggles, you know, to look at it from these goggles. And I think the Most High, and I ain't gonna tell you it was all sweet during the process either. Hell no, it's never sweet. You know what I'm saying? You have your pockets of, you know what I'm saying, victories and shit like that, but yeah, majority of it, and this is where I also learned the lesson of even my downfalls is victories. You know what I'm saying? Even when I fall, I'm up. You see what I'm saying? Like a smart, dumb motherfucker wouldn't be able to tell you that. Why? Because their focal point, once again, I speak on this a lot on my lives, is their focal point is winning. And that comes with terms like what? By any means necessary. That shit like a win is a win. And I'm like, huh? Like, nah, I don't agree. You know, because I know that the wavelength that he's speaking from or she's speaking from, you know, the spirit or the frequency that they coming from, you know, the angle, it's not coming from the same. Like I could say that same thing, a win is a win, but it's coming from a whole different, you know what I mean, ideology. You know, it's coming from a whole different fucking cloth. So, like I was saying, as far as the having to operate, having to maneuver in a society such as this, where you have to look out for the smart dumb people, and what's crazy is that it'll be your supervisor, it'll be, you know, somebody that you hold competent, you know what I mean, like your nurse. Yeah, it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous equation. You know what I'm saying? Your doctor, your dentist, you know what I mean? It's your fireman, your policeman. Like, it's very, it becomes very, that's why how I started looking at it was off of that lens. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes from out of me, surviving. You know what I mean? You know, surviving And the thing about it is, boom, like I said, boom, survival comes out of fear. When you young, and before I learned that, oh, I fear God and I fear no man or woman or any of this, I fear God. Before I learned that, boom, I'm learning what I don't like and what does, somewhat scare me or what. You get what I'm saying? Before, when you getting your feet wet and you jumping off the porch on different things and, you stepping into different rooms and arenas, you know what I'm saying? Although, different people's upbringing, and environment, they might tell you that, oh, they ain't never been scared or whatever the fuck, but, before, like I said, before we learn that, oh, we supposed to just fear God, yeah, it's things that we feared, you get what I'm saying? It's things that you'd be like, oh, hell nah, all the way down to a spider, you know what I mean? It's an insect or some shit. It just be regular, or you can get into your politics, There's a lot of things that motherfuckers fear, before, those of you that are, one, connected with the Most High and, have learned who you are. Yeah, he just tells you to fear him, you know what I'm saying? Which is the inevitable anyway once you gain knowledge of self. That's the inevitable. But back to what I was saying, the smart, dumb people, man, dealing with that type of force, because it is a force, to me, it's like, I kind of like how the young kids, the young bulls are saying, well, final boss, or, they using terms like that, or main character, or what have you. Well, these is like you the main character, and these is like little things that you got to run into, on different boards of Mario. These is different things that you got to run into, King Koopas and what I'm saying, mushroom heads and all the, all these motherfuckers that they have different skills and powers, but you might look at it like fuck shit, which it is. You might look at it as, that's dirty, which it is. They look at it as, nah, man, this is like they prize it. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at it as a whole, you know what I mean? Whole culture. That's what I can best describe it as. They'll look at it as culture, so much that what goes with their culture be like lack of, like they uphold lack of. That's weird, right? That's, if you was to ask me, that's stupid. Like one thing that comes to mind is when you speak to a person like this, a smart, dumb motherfucker, they're not conversing with you to even listen. That's a dead giveaway. That's a dead, like they're full of arrogance, right? Full of pride, right? Like chest poked out. It's a whole peacock show going on. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a whole concert or campaign, and like you just see a lot of shit going on when you're dealing with people like this. And to me, like I don't even give none of this shit opportunity. Once I realize this, I'm talking even out in the corporate and in your different arenas, I don't even give shit opportunity. And everybody that knows me knows this. You know what I mean? Knows this. Like before the pandemic, I'm operating on pandemic time. Yeah, I pop out, take my family bowling, something to eat, what have you know what I mean? But majority of my shit is all calculated. Like how many of you might work on one side of town, side of the town, and you know, then you live, and before you get in the house, I mean, this is logic, right? To me, this is just common sense, but everyone doesn't operate on this type of time, or at least, you know, a lot of things that are happening is forcing people into thinking this way. This, once again, this goes along with that live I was speaking about as far as free thinking is bad for you. But you know, so anyway, boom. I'll go to work and I'll make sure I do everything on the way before I even hit the door, before I get hit. You know what I mean? Before I even hit the driveway, I'm doing everything I got to do. Like it's very, you know, thought out and calculated, strategic. You know, we ain't wasting a drop of gas. Even if, you know what I mean, people like to say they got it, which I think that's stupid too. You know, you ain't got it if you can't print out the money. You ain't got it. You know what I mean? You know, I don't operate on gray area shit. I don't like talking to people that speak in the gray area sense. You know, like basically they convince themselves, and then you know, once again, the whole motive was to convince you of that what they're saying has validation, and it's like, you know, if you convince yourself, keep it within yourself. You know what I mean? If you know, are convinced of that type of shit, you know, whatever's working for you, keep that to yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, when you push it on the others, you know, when you push it on the others, at least with somebody that you give a fuck about, you know, your loved ones or your kids or what have you, it could be a poison to them. It could be a whole paralyzing factor. You know, it can stop their whole shit, you know, rewire them, you know, to me. It's not wise to do that. Like if it works for you, you know, boom, do that. But yeah, man, smart dumb people, man. Like once you realize that you're dealing with a whole system that operates on this narrative. You know, like I was saying about that No Kings thing, that No Kings protest or whatever. They're out there, right? They're out there, and this is that hit dogs will holler effect. Like it's whatever they're coming out speaking about only only made them jump, or you know, what made, you know, speak up, sound off, only made them sound off because it started bothering them. And like I was just making the point about the safety of things, like boom, a lot of the positions and you know, professional arenas that you know, we have to occupy and coexist in, a lot of them, a lot of the heads of these are smart dumb people, and it's not even a sorry, you know, sorry I'm not sorry. Like that's just what it is. Like like all the way down to the basics. Can't spell, can't read, you know, can't, you know, add, subtract, multiply. It be basics, but at the same time, you're trusting these motherfuckers to be in a position where, you know, basically where you have to trust them. You have to have some kind of, you know, bond with it. And it's like, how does that work? At some time that's going to have to, you know what I mean? It's going to get breached. It's going to get exposed. Like it doesn't last long, and that's why I always use the term of trial and error. We live in a trial and error society. I mean, it's ran by smart, dumb people. You know, violence. I don't know if people understand this or if you agree or whatever, but this is what I believe. Violence comes from a fearful person and a low intelligent person. You know, high emotion, back against the wall, like zero options. You know, intelligence is having options. You know, that's how I use the. And a lot of my people say, "Get it out the mud." That's what that is, right? Like you don't you see one option exhaust, boom, you got two in the chamber. You see two options exhaust, you know, opportunities close, doors close, boom, you got six more erect. You see what I'm saying? Like that's you know what I mean? Having the emotional intelligence not to panic, you know what I mean? That's what you seeing now, right? Like it exposes this shit. It exposes this shit. You seeing that. Like, what are we gonna do? You know, food stamps, they cutting them off and knowing damn well, boom. What's been the argument? What's been the running narrative, you see what I mean? The propaganda that they've been pushing for, I could say, my whole life. I've always heard this. You know, at least if I'm around them folks, I would hear, you know, not to me, to my face or to any of our face, but you get what I'm saying. You hear people thinking that black people was like we the poster childs for poverty or welfare and shit, you know, food stamps, SNAP benefits, and it's like, damn. And then once the cat got out the bag, you know, people was able to move information. That's why I love the internet. We're able to move in information, you know what I'm saying? The cat got out the bag that, oh, okay, that's never been the truth. That's never been the truth. I could say just from my experience, my people couldn't even qualify. You know, we'll get the little, you know, the hookup on the block, you know, I'm gonna buy a book or whatever, you know, for the people that had the book back in the day. But you get what I'm saying? A lot of our people didn't even qualify, and that was a form of, you know what I mean, boxing you out, redlining you. You see what I mean? A lot of people don't even admit that. You see what I'm saying? Like and then boom, like I said, as I got older, I started seeing, especially as you move up in your professionalism, in your different corporate arenas, you start seeing the truth. You know what I mean? You start seeing the truth, like, oh, you know how they tried to paint this construct, right? This racial, social, business construct that you got going on here in America. They tried to make white equal to pure, you know what I mean? Positive, you know what I mean? No, safe, yeah, no violence. Like they tried to attach all these different labels, you know what I mean, and monikers to what you call whiteness, and then what was being placed on, you know, so-called blacks. You know what I mean? So-called blacks, Hispanics, you know what I mean, Native American. Like you just get all these, or what you have now, what stereotypes. You know what I mean? And in they mind, them things is sacred. You see what I mean? In they mind, things like that is you know what I mean? It's the cure for cancer. You know, like boom. For example, you know, the running narrative of making what they call Jesus Christ. You know, what they call Jesus Christ white. You know, you see, you know, we grew up with these pictures in our churches and, you know, on grandma wall and all that, you know what I mean? If she ain't had the right one, you know what I mean? These is just facts. Like they'll kill you over these beliefs. Like you literally, like a smart dumb motherfucker, a scared motherfucker will kill you. Think I'm lying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it is what it is. But at the same time, like I said, once you realize how to maneuver around it, you know what I'm saying? Cause it ain't this one once again, boom. This ain't even just highlighted on some specific race or color or what have you. But of course, the predominant, when I speak of it, as far as being a system, yeah, it comes from the dominant society. But when you notice you have, you have you're in an environment or you have people that are operating off of a smart, dumb angle, you gotta know that. You gotta know that they're operating out of fear, and then that's their way of surviving. That's their only options. Like they don't come with your resilience, your creativity, you know what I mean? They don't come with the presets, the default settings that the Most High bless you with. And on the side note, it's important for you to even tap into those though. Like a lot of us, a lot of people, I can say, just speaking on my experience before I was even able to tap into a lot of my strong traits, I would be trying to fit in and trying to rip and run with shit that ain't even on my level. And how can I fault myself? I ain't even know at these times. Nor did the people around me, of course, didn't know. Like we all running on low vibrations. We all running on bullshit. You know what I mean? We all saying we real nigga this, real nigga that. That was big when I was younger. People used, oh, that's a real nigga. It's still, people still saying it here and there or whatever. Like, like I don't know if that YN bullshit, which that came from my generation as well, but I don't know if they're attaching that to like a solid individual. Like you notice everybody like it that has like a moniker of violence. It has a moniker of, all they get down or you know what I mean, what have you, and it's like that ain't like are you serious? You know what I'm saying? are you serious? Are you serious? Like I'm sure it'll be like one or two out of the bunch that'll let it blow, but once again, like I said, a scared nigga will shoot you. But I'm not gonna ride on that equation alone. Once you learn that equation, yeah, I'm not. Once again, I fear God, so it's like, this brings up my point even when it comes to conflict. So you mean to tell me you're thinking that a person they got their weapons, right? And I said this on plenty of lives, I speak on this as well. They got buku guns, buku bullets, and you really think that person is like about that? You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a lot of peacocking going on. There'd be a lot of peacocking going on. Like they have a motive, like which every human being does, every organism does. But it'd be a lot of flossing, what we used to call it, flossing. Like it's fugazi shit. Like I don't believe you. You need more people. And they're so dumb that they don't even see it from another angle. Like they're fogged up. It's all foggy. It's tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? It's straight up tunnel vision. And those be the ones that get their shit knocked off. Those be the ones that had their people crying. Those be the ones that, you know what I mean? Well, once again, boom, they will kill you. You know, most definitely, they will knock your shit off. You know, if you ain't up on this, you know, because once again, boom, if you don't put yourself in these arenas or give it opportunity, your risk factor goes down. You know what I'm saying? The risk factor goes down because I live off risk factors. You know what I'm saying? Which meaning is, you know, if you think about investment from an investment angle, mindset, yeah, if I don't get shit out of it, I ain't even there, man. if I if there ain't no nothing build coming from it, or, you know, it ain't no ROI coming from it, yeah, I'm not even around you. I'm not even around you. Like, and this ain't even got to necessarily do with, you know, monies or what have you. Peace of mind. If I don't even get peace of mind from you, I don't want to. I'm sorry, not sorry. Like, you know what I mean? There's no transaction even available. Nothing even on the. You know what I mean? It's not even accessible. And I've had to learn that. Because once again, a smart, dumb motherfucker, a smart, dumb person is ready to execute their motive on you. And they're looking at it like you may look at stealing as a low, you know, something dirty, right? Something, you know, like, nah, we don't fuck with niggas that steal and shit, or lying, or what have you. Well, you gotta understand that a smart, dumb person is using those for leverage. Like they're actually, you see what I mean? Like that's why I call it smart dumb, because it's like, you know, it's very temporary, which, you know, those is dead giveaways as well when you're done to be able to highlight a smart dumb situation. They're looking at the quick play. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, they do play the long game with you too, only if you allow. Once again, if you allow this shit, yeah, it'll run your whole life. You'll have generation after generation getting played. You know, when you look at it from the big picture, you have generation after generation getting played. Now y'all have a whole bloodline pushing a smart dumb narrative. A smart, straight up smart dumb family tree. Matter of fact, people die off, potential exhausted. I always say this quote: the richest part of the land is the graveyard. Why? Because there's so many people that done died without even jumping off the porch, without even speaking up, without even executing. You know what I'm saying? Like, these is facts. And it be, you know, cultivated, curated from an environment of a bunch of smart, dumb people, man. Bunch of smart, dumb people. A smart, dumb person will tell you, because, you know, you got to understand, they get offended easily as well. They get offended. They'll tell you, oh, look at you over here. You know, they'll say some shit like that, or I'm not dumb, you know. You know, I'm not, you trying to make me look stupid. And it's like, man, we got to come at it from a different approach, miss, or dude, like, you know, sir. Like, we got to look at it from a different approach. Like, what we gonna? Because I could tell you at one point in my life, which once again, this is just how my experiences had groomed me, man. Once I sniff bullshit, I just drop everything off the table. Everything is off the table, right? Everything is off the fucking table. Whatever we're talking about, and it goes to, what's up then? Straight up. Like, that's and it, 9 times out of 10, it throws that party off, off their motive. Because once I sniff their motive, is what I'm saying. I sniff their motive, and then I'm like, oh yeah, everything is, it's no deal. It's no more. You know what I mean? We're not even. Well, you know what I mean? This is what we doing now. And you either with that or, and the reason why I say at one point in my life, because I realized that was even me being a smart, dumb person using that tactic. I'm thinking that I'm on defense and I'm preserving myself, but at the same time, it's not. My evolved strategy to that is me just not allowing it to have any kind of access to me. Therefore, I won't have to get out of body. Therefore, I won't have to, constantly be pressured to execute, discernment, or like how I always say, catch a charge, when you're young, you catch a charge with being in these situations, because you can't expect everybody to uphold integrity, man. Once again, these is part of their play. It's a whole game to them. It's a fucking game to them. So a lie is just currency to them. A lie is currency. You know what I'm saying? How can I deceive you? How can I, cheat? How can I steal? How can I destroy you? These is all currencies when you're dealing with a smart, dumb person or smart, dumb system. And it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. You know what I mean? It's very dangerous. Like, it's nothing to take lightly. It's nothing to take lightly at all. Yeah, it's definitely so once again, I'm gonna elaborate on this angle. The pretend game. Like I said, everything is about what? Optics and theatricals. And you know what I mean? Theatrics and images and, sloganizing and, your isms and like it's all, these are different tools and tactics. I was just speaking to somebody the other day about that. We building, and I was like, man, the white supremacy system has a lot of tools, has a lot of, different tools to execute their play, like different plays. It's kind of like Madden. It's kind of like seeing, like this is what I picture, right? I picture like a group of white men, a couple of white dudes, old white elites, sitting in a room and they playing a Madden, but their Madden edition is different than our Madden. And it ain't even football. Their plays look like, you know what I'm saying? For their offense, they got redlining and capitalism, and it's like Madden capitalist, white supremacist edition, and they got different plays, authoritarianism, all kind of shit, dictatorships, and it's like, wow. That's crazy to me. And you might think that IQ is out the roof, right? To me, that's one of the most misnomers, biggest misnomer on this earth, where people think that when you see like your evil villain, or you see the bad guy has all these bells and whistles and shit like that. You know what I mean? You're thinking that took like, this motherfucker is like a genius. When to me, intelligence comes from being able to see growth, being able to, promote and plant a seed of growth, not to destroy. In no way, in no way. Like even in conflict, to douse out, to, be able to agree to disagree without any kind of, you get what I'm saying? Like to me, that's what intelligence would breed. Like when you speak of somebody that is coming from an intelligent standpoint, nowhere in their motion, nowhere in their get down is them having to lie, steal, cheat, deceive, kill. They're not even on that. Once again, a lot of people converse with you just to one up you, just to top what you're saying, just to disprove what you're saying. Now, I don't know about you. I don't choose to engage in conversations like that. I don't. Now, you might say, oh, so when you converse with somebody, you rather agree with them all the time? No, I'm not saying that either. When you converse with somebody, if you disagree, you don't have to go on to a whole fucking play, of opposition. You don't have to even go down that rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 times out of 10, when you're speaking to people that are there to listen and learn and actually build with you, we're both listening to learn. So a lot of that cutting off each other doesn't happen. A lot of that, you just said, you know what I mean? Like it's just be a whole different vibe. You get what I mean? A whole different vibe. Because you're dealing with two different spirits now. You're not dealing with the spirit of, I'm only talking to you to get what I can get. Even if it's to what so-called embarrass you. Like these are the smart dumb motherfuckers that you're dealing with. I can honestly tell you that. This is what you deal with daily, I'm sure. Yeah, that's if you're out here, getting it out here, making money in America or what have you. Yeah, you're running into smart dumb motherfuckers. They be suited, suit and tie, all that, comb over and all that. You know what I'm saying? They even look like us, dreads, fades, whatever. Whatever arena you in, long hair, short hair, all that, ladies. Like it doesn't even matter. It don't matter. Clean, dirty. Like a lot of people have that misconception that people that are clean, got everything, nice car, nice house, all that shit. They're thinking that that's a, you know what I mean, a solid individual. And that's one of the things that I'm saying. Like, it's crazy how, you have to, it ain't you have to. We just, when I say you have to, we all are partaking in the system in all nine areas of activity, all of them. You know what I mean? where you have to do deals with this shit daily. You know what I mean? In order to live your life, you have to, you know what I mean, coexist with it daily. Yeah, you have to coexist with the shit daily. So it's like, man, yeah, smart, smart, dumb. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild.